Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. Or so they say. But they are stupid. Putting aside the fact that it is not the dictionary, definition of insanity, it's a stupid concept in and of itself. Doing the same thing over and over again is the only way that anyone has ever gotten better at anything. You can't master something that you just do once. Hell, you could probably not even be good at things that you just do once. I'm sure that there are some exceptions. Some people picked up a skateboard and were immediately good at balancing on the fucking skateboard or learned how to ride a bike right away. Maybe. But those are the exceptions to the rule. Anyone who is good at anything or has gotten results from doing anything got those results and got good at it by repeatedly doing it. If you go to the gym one time, nothing is going to happen. You're going to wake up the next day, you're probably going to feel sore. But beyond that, you're not going to be stronger, you're not going to be more muscular, you're not going to be leaner, you're not going to be any fucking thing different other than sore than the day before. But if you keep going to the gym every single day and doing the same workout, maybe you should switch it up a little bit, but even if you keep doing the same thing every single day, eventually you are going to get different results. You are going to get stronger, you are going to get more muscles, you are going to get leaner, assuming that your diet is proper. And speaking on the diet thing, going on a diet for one day isn't going to do anything. Hell, going on diet for 1 week isn't going to do anything. Depending on how much weight you need to lose, going on diet for 1 month isn't going to fucking do anything. And according to the insanity people, you should just give it up after that because it's not working. And people believe that, which is exactly why people don't try and keep pushing past the point where they are at and they get stuck at, because they think that it has not worked thus far, therefore it's not going to work, because they think that they're not going to get different results. But again, that's how you get different results in any field. The person who is very good at drawing once sucked at drawing, and they got very good at drawing, say, tigers by repeatedly drawing tigers over and over and over again. And you improve steadily each and every single time, because every single thing that you do repeatedly on a regular basis, you are going to become good at. Even if it's not even if it's not good things, you will become good at that too. If you overeat one day and then you do it the next day and you do it the next day, eventually you're going to become very good at it and be able to overeat lots and lots of food, because your stomach gets used to you putting all of that food in it, and it takes you more time to get full. You will become a very skilled overeater simply by overeating all of the time. Same thing with procrastination. You're going to start on one of your goals today, but the time comes around to do it. It seems like it's hard. You don't want to do it now. You would rather watch TV. You put it off until tomorrow. And then the next day comes and you put it off until tomorrow again. And over time, you become a very skilled procrastinator simply by repeating the action over and over and over again. Now, granted, that's a skill that you don't want, or at the very least, it should be a skill that you shouldn't want, because it's a very unuseful skill, if you can even call it a skill. But the point is, people become procrastinators by doing the same thing over and over again. The same way people become addicts, the same way people become fat. It's also the same way that people become very wealthy. It's also the same way that people get into very good shape, by going over and over again and doing the exact same thing. When you see the fucking NBA players, they got good by practicing their basketball skills day in and day out, because that is how all things work. There is another saying, repetition is the father of learning, and that is absolutely a fact. If you take a sentence in Spanish and you say it today, you probably won't say it very well. You won't have the right accents or inflections or pacing, cadence, however it is that you would like to call it, of that sentence. But if you say it over and over and over and over and over again, eventually you will become very, very skilled at saying that sentence, and people won't even be able to tell that Spanish isn't your native language, because you did the same thing over and over and over again, which gave you different results. There's a Bruce Lee saying that I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times, because he understood that the only way to do anything and the only way to get better at anything is to constantly repeat it. You're going to suck at whatever it is you do whenever it is that you first start doing it. And that is where most people quit, because they do a thing a few times and it doesn't work, or they're not good at it, so they figure it's just not for them. People do that with this thing here, this creating content. They are not good at speaking to the camera, but they never practice it, so they never get any better at it. I didn't used to be good at it. I'm much better at it in short form than I am in long form, but I've been doing the short form for much longer than I have been doing the the long form like this. If you follow me on Instagram, I have hundreds of videos of me speaking for about roughly a minute. And if you go all the way back to when I very first started, they were not very good. But the more that I did it, the better I got, because I kept doing the same exact thing and got a different result, because that's what practice is. That is how all skills are developed. That is how all life goals are met. It's not from doing a bunch of novel shit one time like people had with the P90X and the muscle confusion nonsense, where people just do a bunch of random shit and expect to get better. The only way that you could get better at anything is by doing it over and over again, even when you suck, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when it feels like it isn't working. Those are actually the most important times to do it, because those are the things that you need to push through to get to the point where it is easy, or at the very least easier, where you are comfortable doing it, where it's more effortless, where it's more natural, where it's more second nature to you. The only way to do that is to do it over and over again. And if you take a look back at your own life, you will see that everything that you about you, every character trait that you have, was built through repetition. If you are a bitch, if you are someone who is scared of everything, it is because you reacted to fear in a very similar way every single time. You just ingrained in yourself that when something happens that's frightening to you or scares you, you should run the fuck off or cower or do whatever bitchy shit it is that you do. Same thing if you are an angry person. You're not just naturally an angry person. You are an angry person because you got angry at something, you lashed out, you yelled, you hit shit, you threw shit, whatever the fuck it is that you do, and you then reinforced that by repeating it every single time, and you never learned to do anything different. So now you have an issue controlling your anger because you responded to anger the exact same way, and now it is a much different result than when you first did it. Now when people who have anger issues, they get much angrier at stuff than they did back in the day because they responded to it the exact same way. Repetition builds everything. Without repetition, you will never have fucking anything. You will never get better at anything. You will never accomplish anything. You will never truly get anywhere in life if you do not understand that in order to improve yourself, you have to repeat yourself. Now, granted, you should obviously have some degree of self-awareness and be able to tweak things as you go along with them and not do literally the exact same thing, even if it's not working. But the only way that you're going to get to the point where you know what it is that you should improve is by continuously doing the same thing for long enough to see where that gets you, to see where that takes you. If you go to the gym, you're not going to figure out what it is that you need to tweak workout wise if you're not going to continuously do it and keep going. If you're on a diet, you're never going to figure out what it is that you need to tweak, what calories you need to drop, what macros you need to alter, or we'll go with alter, what macros you need to alter in order to get better, because you don't have enough experience of actually doing the thing. Anybody who's good at anything got good at it by repeating themselves. So when people say these stupid ass little fucking sayings like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. People accept these things. They seem innocuous. They seem like regular, harmless sayings and just shit that you throw out. But these things sit in your subconscious, and they give you all of these narratives that ultimately lead to you not wanting to try at anything, to you not wanting to do the things that need to be done in order to accomplish the things that you claim to want to accomplish. And it's not holding back anyone but you. It's not doing anyone a disservice but you. All of it is false. All of it is bullshit. All of it is nonsense. And the sooner that you realize that, the sooner that you will be able to take the necessary steps that you need to take to get to where it is that you would like to be. And in the beginning, the majority of those steps are going to suck. And the majority of those steps are you're going to feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again and nothing is happening. But change is a very small and gradual thing. You won't even notice that you've changed most of the time. Going back to the workout thing, when you start working out, other people will notice that you're starting to look better before you notice that you're starting to look better. You see it all the time with people who start losing weight. They think that nothing is happening, but other people see them and be like, oh, wow, you lost weight. Oh, wow, whatever. Or they don't feel like they've lost any weight. Then they try and put on some pants that once fit them and all of a sudden they're loose, or a shirt, or whatever the fucking case may be. Or you want to become a better speaker or We'll go with speaker. Other people will notice that you were speaking better before you, but the only way that you're going to get better is to keep pushing through it when you don't feel like you are making any progress, because that is the only way to make progress, is to keep fucking going. And unfortunately, that takes repeating a lot of the same shit. So doing something one time and expecting some sort of result, or doing something a few times and expecting some sort of result different what you've always had, should be the actual definition of insanity. Because bouncing around from thing to thing, hoping that all of a sudden you become a master or incredibly gifted at one, is an insane fucking thing to do.